throwaway because she knows my main. I'm numb, I'm angry, and I honestly don't know where else to go. Here is the absolute train wreck my life became in the last 48 hours that we've been married for 7 years. I thought Sarah was my person. We had the house, the dog, the shared Google Calendar, the whole bit. Looking back, I feel like a total idiot. About 3 months ago, things just shifted. She became busy at work constantly, but whenever she was home, she was just mean. Everything I did was wrong. I'd breathe too loud, and she'd roll her eyes like I was some subhuman burden. The phone became her third arm. She never set it down face up. If I even walked near her while she was texting, she'd snap at me to stop hovering and give her some space. She started going to the gym at 9 p.m., coming back at midnight smelling like expensive soap, not sweat. I asked her about it once, and she told me I was being insecure and controlling. I actually apologized to her. God, I hate myself for that. Last Tuesday, she told me she had an emergency conference in Chicago. 2 days, fly out Wednesday morning. She was so frantic packing, acting like I was in the way the whole time. She literally hissed at me when I tried to kiss her goodbye, saying she was in a headspace for work and didn't have time for clinging. I watched her drive away feeling like a kicked puppy. I'm not a snooper, but the iPad she left behind started chiming incessantly on the kitchen counter. It was linked to her MacBook. I figured it was her mom or something important. I opened it to silence the notifications, and my heart didn't just drop, it turned into lead. It was an iMessage thread with a guy named Julian. The messages weren't just cheating. They were cruel. She was sending him selfies from our bed while I was downstairs making dinner. She called me the roommate and joked about how easy it was to manipulate me because I was pathetic and desperate for her approval. They weren't in Chicago. They were at a boutique hotel 3 towns over. That I didn't scream. I didn't cry yet. I just went into a weird, cold robot mode. I checked our credit card statement. There it was, a charge for a luxury resort 30 miles away. I grabbed my keys, called out of work, and drove. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely keep the car on the road. I sat in that hotel parking lot for 4 hours. Then I saw them. They walked out of the lobby heading toward the pool. She was wearing a bikini I'd never seen, laughing in a way she hadn't laughed with me in years. He had his hand on the small of her back. She looked happy. It felt like someone was reaching into my chest and squeezing my lungs that I didn't wait. I walked right up to them. Her face went from pure joy to absolute, ugly rage in a second. Not guilt, rage. I asked, "How's Chicago, Sarah?" Julian looked confused, but Sarah didn't miss a beat. She stood up and yelled, "What the hell are you doing stalking me? This is exactly why I need a break from you." Even with me standing there, looking at her lover, she lied. She claimed Julian was a consultant and they were working by the pool because the hotel Wi-Fi was better. When I pointed out they were in swimwear, she called me a pervert for focusing on her body and told me I was violating her privacy. The gaslighting was so intense I actually felt dizzy. I told Julian I was her husband. He looked at her, looked at me, and just walked away. That's when she lost it. She started screaming that I ruined her networking, that I was suffocating her, and that if I hadn't been such a boring, stagnant loser, she wouldn't have had to look for excitement elsewhere. She didn't apologize once. The drive back was a blur. I don't remember the turns or the traffic. I just remember the silence in the car. I got home, took her designer suitcases out of the closet, and threw them onto the driveway. I changed the locks that afternoon. I knew it was legally gray, but I didn't care. I couldn't have her sent in my house for one more second. She showed up 2 hours later, pounding on the door. When she realized the key didn't work, she started texting me. Not, "I'm sorry, but you're going to pay for this, and I hope you enjoy being alone in that house you can barely afford." The vitriol was endless. It was like the woman I loved had been replaced by a demon. That night, the adrenaline ran out. I sat on the floor of our kitchen and sobbed until I threw up. I mourned the 7 years. I mourned the kids we talked about having. I realized that the person I loved probably never existed. She was just a mask she wore until she got bored. My lawyer is a shark, thank God. I'm filing for divorce on the grounds of infidelity. My state isn't great for that, but I have the screenshots. I'm selling the house. I'm taking the dog. I blocked her on everything. Her family tried to reach out, but I told them to talk to my counsel. I'm done being the nice guy who gets stepped on. It's been 3 weeks. I still have bad days where I want to text her and ask why. But then I reread the message where she called me pathetic. And the urge dies. I'm starting to realize that her cheating wasn't a reflection of my worth, it was a reflection of her lack of character. She's a hollow person. I'm not that. If you're reading this and your gut is telling you something is wrong, listen to it. Don't let them call you crazy or insecure. Trust is earned, and once it's weaponized against you, the relationship is already dead. People who truly love you don't make you feel small so they can feel big. Move fast, get a lawyer, and don't look back. There's no fixing a person who isn't sorry. That's all for today. If this story gave you something to think about or simply brightened your day, be sure to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Let me know in the comments how you would have handled that situation. I'd love to read your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you in the comments.